Welcome to episode 1 of my brand new Aquascaping Beginners guide. In this mini-series, I'm starting completely from scratch so I can show you everything you need to know about aquascaping from start to finish. I'll be setting up 2 tanks, one low-tech and one high-tech, so there's something for everybody. I'll show you what equipment you need, how to create nice hardscapes and select the right plants, how to deal with algae and just general maintenance. If you want to start aquascaping or just get better at it, then this one's for you. Okay, this is going to be episode 1 of my 2025 Aquascaping Beginners Guide. I'm so excited to get started. I've done a few beginners guides in the past. This one's going to be completely different. So I like to make an Aquascaping Beginners Guide once a year, and then I'll release it at the start of the new year as well. I think it kind of just makes the most sense. And all the previous ones that I did were quite short and quite fast paced, like learn aquascaping in 10 minutes, learn aquascaping in 20 minutes. So I'll just cram as much information as possible in that one single video, which works very well. I mean, a lot of people like that kind of content. This time, however, I want to slow things down a little bit and just split everything up into multiple episodes. So I can just really take my time and show you guys everything that you need to know. Another reason why this beginner's guide is going to be different is because I'm actually going to set up 2 tanks. Both very similar, but one is going to be a little bit more fancy, a little bit more high-tech. I'm going to be using CO2 as well. The other one is going to be a little bit more budget-friendly, low-tech and no CO2. My main goal has always been to get as many people into the aquascaping hobby, but everybody has a different budget, everybody has different goals. So hopefully by showing kind of both ways, I can just get more people attracted to this video and more people just to follow along, And this beginner's guide is also different because I'm going to start completely from scratch, like completely. I have some spare tanks here, I have some spare equipment. I could easily set up 2 tanks right now and make it very easy for myself, But I think it's way more fun for you guys and way more interesting if we really start from scratch and we start by finding all the equipment that we need. The tanks, the light, the filter, CO2, everything. So that's what we're doing in today's episode. We're going to go to a physical shop, do some shopping there. We're going to do some online shopping as well. And that way I can just give you guys tips and tricks on what kind of equipment you should be looking for. And just really start from scratch. So right now we're at the very beginning and I'm not really sure yet how many episodes this series is going to be. So episode 1 will be shopping. I think episode 2 we're going to just set up all the equipment, set up the tanks, install the lights, filters, CO2, those kind of things. Episode 3 we'll do the hardscape. Episode 4 we'll do planting. And then from there we kind of have to see. We can do one episode about maintenance. We can do one episode about buying all the inhabitants, the fish, shrimp, snails, those kind of things. I think I also want to do an episode about cost. So I'm going to save all the receipts from everything that I'm buying. And then we can kind of just compare the low-tech tank against the high-tech tank. I think that will be very interesting. And one more episode, of course, about the final result. How both tanks are looking after 3-4 months, something like that. So that's the plan. Let's get started with today's video. So like I said, we're going to start completely from scratch. The only thing that I have at the moment is this empty IKEA Besta cabinet. This is where our 2 tanks are going to be. Now these Besta cabinets are quite sturdy. I have the same one over here with 3 nano tanks on it. And for this one I'm going to go for 2 30, 40, 50 liter tanks, 2 nano tanks basically. So it's not going to be that much weight. But in general I do have to say that IKEA furniture is not really suitable for aquarium. So if you want to do this as well, do it at your own risk please. So IKEA Besta, I think everybody kind of knows these cabinets, but if there's anybody watching that doesn't know it, it's 120 centimeters in length. Then the width without the doors is more or less 40 centimeters. And the height with the legs is 74-75 centimeters. So it's actually not too high. I think most aquarium cabinets are actually 80 centimeters, a little bit higher. It's all personal preference. So right now the cabinets are completely empty. The only thing I've done is I've drilled a hole in the back. And so I can fit a multi-socket because we're going to have a light, we're going to have a filter, a heater. So we need a couple of sockets as well. Go one on this side and I have one on this side as well. And in case anybody's wondering, yes, there is a support in the center as well. Alright guys, so I think that's it. I think it's time to go shopping. Now I already know exactly what I want for both setups, both the high-tech and the low-tech tank. So we're going to go to my local fish shop first. I don't think he will have everything that I need. So after that, we're going to come back here and buy the rest of the stuff that we need online. Okay, so I'm currently in Heems. This is kind of like my local fish shop. It's about 30 minutes away from where I live. This place is quite big. They have a great assortment, so I'm sure we'll find most of the stuff that we need. got my shopping list with me. But let's first do a very quick shop tour. They have some really nice display tanks, and then after that we'll start shopping. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. It's an aquarium shop, but they also have some pet products. But yeah, over here on the right side we have our nano tanks, so we're definitely going to have a look at that very soon. They have some bigger ones from Eheim and Jewel, like the big brands. Some Superfish tanks as well. It's also very good for beginners, so maybe we'll go with some of that. And you just have a lot of dry goods. Over here we have all kinds of substrate, all kinds of rocks and wood on this side. More wood over here, and then further down there, that's kind of the pet area, so cats, dogs, some birds as well, which you might hear on the background. This is pretty cool. They're currently building a aquascape gallery, so probably by the time this video will be out, these tanks will already be scaped, and probably already be some content on my channel about it. But it's cool to show the early phase. Over on this side we have more dry goods here. They have a small section with some cichlids and some goldfish. Then we have two nice display tanks. This one is kind of, I think these are Malawi cichlids. And then below that we have a really nice, almost like a Dutch style tank with a lot of plants, some really nice moss over here. Some beautiful, beautiful tetras. And then over here they have the plant section, so a lot of potted plants. In vitro plants as well. Another nano display tank over here with some really nice crystal red shrimp. I think this is a superfish tank. And then here's the section with all the fish. We'll take a quick look at some cool fish. Oh, they also have a lot of shrimps here. So here lots of crystal red shrimp. Orange neocaridina, yellow ones, crystal blacks, and the red cherries. Then we have two more really nice display tanks. Again, almost like a Dutch style tank with a lot of really nice Bucephalandra. Overall, just super healthy plants. Below that we have a nice one with these beautiful rainbow shiners. Really colorful plants as well. Just a beautiful display tank. And then over here we have more fish. Some really nice rainbows over here. They have lots of different types of corys as well. Another really nice nano display tank with a really lush carpet. Some AR mini and some healthy looking rotalas in the background. This could be a nice beginner setup as well. We have more lights, more dry goods on this side, and then a really nice Peninsula Tanganyika cichlid tank. So that was just a really quick shop tour. Now it's time to grab all the stuff that we need. For now I'm just going to buy the hardware. So we need a tank, we need a light, filter, heater and CO2. Maybe I forgot something, but let's just get started. So of course most beginners are not going to go straight away for a giant tank. So I think we should have a look at the nano tank selection. So I think pretty much anything in this section over here would be good for beginners. There's some really nice sets here from Superfish, both rimless and also with a lid. I personally wouldn't go for a tank with a lid because usually the light that's in these units is not that powerful. Also, like, these are all a set, so you have the tank, you have a filter, a heater, everything that you need basically. But I prefer to just buy a rimless tank and then just get all the rest of the equipment myself, you know, so I can just select my own light, I can select the own filter that I want. On this side we have all the tanks from Dennerle, and I'm actually quite a big fan of the Dennerle tanks. I think they're really affordable, they're really high quality, so I'm planning to go for a Dennerle nano tank. Now what size tank you choose is completely up to you. If you're going to go for something additional, like very small, 10-20 liters, probably best to just keep shrimp. But if you're going to go for something a little bit bigger, For example, this one is 55 liters, so you have a good option for fish as well. So I'll say either the 35 liter nano tank from Dennerle or the 55 liter nano tank from Dennerle will be a really good place to start. Okay, so my tank of choice is going to be the Dennerle Nano Tank 55 liters. I think this is the perfect size for beginners. I'm going to get two of them, one for our low-tech project and one for our high-tech project. Okay, so we got a tank. Next thing we need is a light. Unfortunately, this shop doesn't stock the brand that I want, so I'm going to order my light online. But here they have a good alternative option, the lights from Chihiros. They have a very big assortment, ranging from very cheap to very expensive, so there's something for everybody here. So next thing on the list is a filter, and here we basically have three options. We can either go for a hang-on-the-back filter, we can go for an external canister filter, obviously this is the most expensive option, or we can go for an internal filter. So for our high-tech tank, I want to go with an external canister filter. So I'm going to use the Oase Filtosmart Thermo 100. This one already has a heater built in, so we don't need to have a visible heater in the tank. I already have a few of these in the studio, quite like them, so this is our option for the high-tech tank. Then for our low-tech tank, I'm just going to go with a cheap internal filter. So either the AQUASOIL 200 or the AQUASOIL 300. This one does 400 liters per hour, this one does 540. So this will be 10 times the volume of the tank. But I think this one is going to be more than enough. So next thing we need is a heater. So for the high-tech tank, I have the external canister filter, which already has a heater built in. But for our low-tech tank, we still need a heater. So I just asked the staff here what they would recommend, and they suggested this one from Dennerle. It's a heater constant. This one is 50 watts. Should be suitable for tanks from 35 to 55 liters. And this one has just one temperature, so you don't need to mess around with it. It just has one temperature of 25 degrees or 77 Fahrenheit. It seems to have a very minimal design, so we can just hide it behind some hardscape or some plants and we shouldn't really see it. So we basically have everything that we need for our low-tech tank, but for our high-tech tank we still need CO2. So let's check out the CO2 systems, see what they have. So this shop sells a lot of CO2 systems from Dennerle. So I think here the cheapest one is 110 euros, but it's just the regulator and some accessories. I think my go-to would probably be this one, Carbo Power. So you get the cylinder, you get the regulator and some accessories as well. But I think I can get a cheaper one online. So CO2 system I will buy online as well. So I think I got everything I need. So I'm going to pay for everything and then I'll see you guys back home. Okay, so back from our little shopping trip, we have the two tanks and we have the small stuff still in the bag. Kind of wanted to show you guys the two tanks because I've gone for two different ones, even though they look the same. I wanted to have a difference between the low budget and the high budget tank. So for the high budget tank, I've actually gone for a fancy white glass tank. And this one is just regular float glass. So this one was a little bit cheaper and this one was a little bit more expensive. We'll take a close look at the float glass and white glass differences in the next episode. For now, we still have a little bit of online shopping to do. We still need two lights, we need a CO2 system, and I think we're also going to go to the hardware store and pick up some small items. Okay, so for the high budget tank, we need a light. I'm going to go for Twinstar. That Dennerle Nano tank is 45 centimeters, so we need this one. Twinstar E-Line 450 EC. 160 euros. Add at the cart, and then we need a CO2 system, and Asako has a kind of like a CO2 system that you can just put together yourself. Assemble CO2 system, that's the one we need. So here you can just select what size bottle you want, what size regulator, diffuser, all those kind of things. So I'm gonna go for a 500 gram CO2 cylinder because that's the most affordable. Of course, the CO2 regulator. I want a solenoid valve as well so I can shut off the CO2 at night. The hose set, I don't need a bubble counter, but I want the Twinstar CO2 diffuser. Add this one to cart as well, 160 euros. Okay, so I'm just gonna pay for this, and then we need one more light for the low-tech tank, which we're gonna find in another shop. So I'm looking for the Chihiros B series. They didn't have this one in Hames, so I'm gonna find it online. B series. 45 centimeters. I've never tried this light, but I'm curious about this one. 70 euros, so almost half the price of the Twinstar. Okay, so I've ordered both lights. I've ordered the CO2 system. I think we pretty much have everything that we need to get started. I just want to make one more stop just to buy some really small items. Okay, one more stop. This one's optional, but if you do happen to pass by your local hardware store, walk in and get some of this stuff. Window tinted foil, whatever it's called in English. In Dutch we call it glasfolie. So here you can kind of see what it looks like. So some of them have like a pattern, but I would go for something additional. Just one color, whitish, milky, something like that. So this is a very cheap one, which is sticky. Then up here you have the more premium stuff. So this one is 15 euros. Let's just take that one as well and then we can compare it. Then while you're here, you might as well grab some super glue as well. So when it comes to super glue, there's usually like a gel version and then there's also a liquid. So I really like the liquid super glue to connect hardscape, and the gel is perfect for gluing plants to hardscape. And for all my Dutch viewers, I really like this one from Gamma. It's cheap and it's quite a lot, you know. And if you don't have a very sharp blade, then make sure to grab one of those as well. Okay, shopping is done. So equipment-wise, we should now have everything we need to get started. In the next episode, we're going to unbox everything, set everything up properly. I'm excited about that. If you want to use exactly the same equipment as I'm using, I'll do my best to leave as many links as possible in the video description. So I'll try to find links for the same tanks, the same light, same filter, everything. So if you want to use the same equipment, there should be some links in the video description. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.